Hello, my name is Zach Daniels. This is AEP 858 Module 5. So where are we now? So I work at James River High School. Our total population is about 1,992 students, much bigger than where I went to school. Our free and reduced lunch in our district, as I mentioned before, we have a very diverse gap socioeconomically. We have very high and wealthy and well-off students, and we have very low students who struggle each week just to come to school and just to afford to live where they can live right now. So total eligible, we have 62% of our student population is eligible for free and reduced lunch as well as breakfast. However, only 37% actually use it. Majority of these students are our students in the ESL program. Reasons for that can vary. Sometimes it's a lot of the times actually is the reason that it's not utilized as much is parents don't know that they are allowed to, and or the paperwork just never gets returned on time. Our current graduation rate is about 90%, especially over the last 5 years. It's 2% higher than the state average, and in our county of 11 high schools, we are second with Midlothian High School. For our core academic average rates for English, math, and science, overall, our English is about 90% average. That's about up 15% from the state average. Our math is our lowest. It's about 80% average. It's 11% higher. However, there is a steady increase. Every year we go up 2, 3, 4 percentage points. With this past year being about 80, like high 80 percentage. And our science is at 87%, which is 17% above the state average. So where do we want to be? So Chesterfield County Public Schools is the name of our county that I work for. Like I said, we have 11 high schools, but overall we have 66 schools in our county, which is pretty big. And we're also in the process of building another high school in the next 2 years. But our mission at CCPS applies to every high school, every elementary, every middle school, and it is to work in a partnership with students, families, and the community to ensure that each student acquires the knowledge, skills, and core values necessary to achieve personal success and to enrich the community. Obviously, our goals here at James River are to attain 100% graduation rate, 100% attendance, and 100% career placement, all of which is going to be difficult but doable, especially with the graduation rate, with it already being as high as it is, which is beyond what has exceeded expectations, especially over the last 5 years. So how did we get to where we are? So as I mentioned before, our average graduation rate over the past 5 years is 90%. Each year we have gradually improved, and it's not a huge improvement, but it's like about a 1% improvement every year. And part of the reason that we get to this point is our buy-in from our teachers. At James River, the teachers are starting to buy into working with our students, doing the extra step, going the extra mile for our students, staying after school with them, doing extra tutoring, extra assignments, which is hard, especially at a school of almost 2,000 students. Also, our students are starting to buy in. They're seeing that the teachers at our school are caring and that they are going the extra step for them and sticking their neck out for them and doing everything they possibly can to help them pass and succeed. Speaking from example, in our program, our students don't always make it all the way through. A lot of times that could be attributed to parents at home struggling with money and needing to keep their kids home to help them work. However, we have done very well in keeping our students in our program tremendously, which has been fantastic. We've gone the extra mile. We've had to visit houses to get paperwork signed, to convince parents. Myself and another teacher, I personally had to go to a student's house just to talk to the parents about the importance of getting them to graduate. Even though they will be graduating with a special diploma, they'll still get to graduate, and we can still have the resource to help get them set up for the future to help the parents ease the burden of them and helping the student be successful in the future, whether that's getting a job, living in a group home, or anything in that sort. Also, as I mentioned earlier, the school pride is coming back. School pride, in my opinion, is huge in a high school. It makes the kids feel like they belong, like they have a part ownership in the building, whether that's because sports, clubs, theater, whatever that may be. They just have that sense of pride. They want to take pride in where they come from, where they go to school for. And on top of that, the amount of extracurricular activities. We have over 100 clubs in our school. We have 14 of the 15 via sports that are certified in Virginia. We have over 25 state championships that have been accumulated. Our clubs, we have national ranked clubs in speech and debate, Scholastic Bowl, some of our science clubs. Our theater department is great. Our marching band is ranked nationally. They have won many state awards, especially the past 2 years. Students find those extracurricular activities to help motivate them to stay in school, to do well, because they want to be part of those things. They want to be part of making history, winning a title for sports, winning a Scholastic Bowl, doing well in a marching band competition, performing in our plays and our musicals. And also, lastly, our school has done very, very well, and I am part of this. We have an early interventions team that identifies students at risk for whether that may be for risk of failing, getting suspended, expelled, whatever. We identify those students, we work with the teachers, and we try and help prevent that from happening. We do whatever we can, whether that's giving them extra resources, extra time at school to complete things, helping them at home if need be, as discreetly as possible, and so on. So how we're going to get where we want to be. A lot of this is going to continue from what we have been doing in our success, continue to align our school to state and national standards, keep our students interested and engaged in and outside the classroom, whether that's making whatever is being taught as relevant as possible, and also motivating them, supporting them outside of the classroom, especially in sports, theater, clubs, whatever that might be. Continue to invest in our students' well-being, check in on them. I know for me personally, obviously it's harder for some teachers who have 120 students total throughout a day. For me, I only have about 10, but at the same time, you can see in our school the teachers care for our students. They're always asking them how they're doing, asking them how their sporting events went, and students realize that. They notice that, and that goes a long way, sometimes a very long way, and it can surprise you about how well it helps keep those students here at our school. Continue to make our school welcoming to all of our students, keep making it a safe environment. I know my classroom, where my students come from, is not great at home. When they come to school, they are safe, they're welcomed, and I will always keep it that way, and almost every teacher in our school has that. Continue to hold high expectations for all students in the classroom, for behavior, academics, whatever that may be. Continue to build those relationships with our students. Get to know them. Don't be afraid. Don't just think of them as another student. Get to know them individually. Even if you ask them, just how was your night? How did your game go? We have a lot of students who do things outside of school, volunteer, work at churches, in clubs. Check in on them. They notice that. And again, continue to hold early interventions for at-risk students. Continue to identify early and prevent those students from either getting expelled or suspended or failing or stop coming to school. And finally, what is making a difference? Continue to hold our team meetings and department meetings to discuss our students as a whole, figure out what needs to be done, how to make things better for our students, and that can come from surveys, from teacher input, and so on. Continue to be proactive in our early intervention team meetings. Our graduation rate is still holding above the state average, but we should continue to improve and not be happy with what we just already have. And overall, a lot of our students do become very successful post high school, whether that may be working in family businesses, going to college, going in the military, going to a trade school. A lot of our students who do graduate go on to do good things and great things. So this was my presentation. As I said, I really enjoy working where I do. It is a huge school compared to where I went to. I went to a school of 2,000 students, was the size of my district across 5 or 6 schools. So working at one high school that has 2,000 is a big difference for me, but I do enjoy what I do and I love what I do.